Well, welcome back, my friends all, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors at GSO 10 from Survive Knives. Now, here's the rendition. Here's the deal. Survive Knives went out of business. We all know the story. It was my fault. I suckered people into buying knives because I have that kind of power. They went out, screwed a lot of people over, and here sits old Scab still testing them. That's what several people will tell you. And if I gave a shit, I'd be hurt by it. But here's the truth. Guy who owned Survive Knives was a horrendous businessman. Horrendous. But he can make one hell of a knife. The first Survive knife I had on here, and everyone subsequently after that, was sent to me by a subscriber, JR. But he's not just a subscriber. He's a brother in the blade. He's a dear friend and an awesome guy. He sent me the knives thinking, man, these will do good on your channel. Little did he know the Peckerwood community would be out in force. This GSO 10 is just a monster of a blade. And it's well made because, again, while a guy couldn't run a business, he can make a knife. This sumbitch is badass. And I got to shout out Timbo 437. Timbo sent me this knife. He's like, dude, I don't know if you want to check it out. Well, hell yeah, I want to check it out. Because listen really, really good. The point of Choir Boys Outdoors is to bring you the best knives I can. You say, Scab, they're out of business. Why would you do that? Well, because there's this little thing called the internet and the secondary market. And all these folks, see, here's why people get mad at me, right? Because the knife's good and I refuse to say it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Guy was a turd, we get it. But the knife's good. I'm not going to lie about that. And if it wasn't good, you'd be able to snatch them up left and right. But you can find them on the secondary market. Now, they're probably going to be a little more expensive. If you wait it out, you could probably get a pretty good deal on one. Timbo, dude, thank you for sending this to me. I really, really appreciate it. JR and Timbo are a couple. Now, there's more. But those guys are a couple of guys who've been sending me knives to check out for a couple of years. No questions asked. I test them out. I send them back. I don't keep them. I do want you to understand that I have never received anything from Survive Knives. So there. Nah. Here's what I hate in all of it. Here's the God's honest truth. The people that lost money, I hate it. That's why I said every single Survive Knives video, if they owe you a knife, put it in the comments. I hate that. That is, I don't care if people are mad at me or not. That's been the story of my life, and I've lived it for 53 years, and I'm fine with it. But I absolutely hate the fact that people got screwed over. I'll say this too. I show a lot of American makers. I show a lot of smaller companies. I've never really vetted companies. I'm going to have to start, not just because of Survive, really not because of Survive, but because of another company. I want to help people. I really do. I want to help some of these makers, but we're just going to have to be real about it and do more in-depth research, which I hate because I have an actual life. And really all I wanted to do was play with knives on here for fun. But once you pass a certain subscriber point, then, you have some kind of moral obligation. That's a rule. So all you guys that are small channels, just stay that way. One, people they think you work harder for some reason, and people will trust you more. Don't matter if you use some bitch or not. You can have 100 subscribers and not use it, and people will trust you more than somebody that busts his ass for one every day because, well, corporate greed and all that shit. Now, on to the knife. I ran off as many as I could in that. This is the GSO 10. It is in CPM 3V. Timbo, again, thank you, brother. We have an overall length. This thing is just a beast, dude. An overall length of 15 7/8 inches. We have a blade length of right at 10. It's weird when you get the handle scales that are got a little whoop-de-doo in them. Let's call it a 10-inch blade. It's like 10 1/8. We have a cutting edge right at 9 1/4. The blade width is 1 inch and 7/8 or 13/16, really wide, which makes it slicey as hell. It is a drop point. It does have a 90-degree spine. Micarta handle scales. The handle on this thing, Kirk and I both absolutely adore. Of course, it was made in the USA, so that's why it's about $7 million. But let's see, we've got an inner grip. Now, it's got a working choil right there under the blade, but it has a little choil, a guard, if you will, on the handle. It's got a very nice palm swell. The handle scales themselves are right at 5 7/8. The inner grip is right at 4.5. Well, the inner grip's 4.5. So any hand in the world can do it. The thickness of the handle, the actual thickness of the handle is 1 inch at the palm swell. Now, in the other areas, it's 3/4. So you've got some place to grip there. The blade stock, I don't think I gave you that yet, is blade stock's 1/4 inch. So a 1/4 inch slab of CPM 3V. It comes with a micarta sheath, fits very well. Every Survive knives I've ever tested, every one without fail, are razor damn sharp. And big shout out to Timbo again, but big shout out to JR too, because I've tested probably 10 to 12 Survive knives, and if I'm not mistaken, they've all been between those two guys. But every knife comes, and I think, I'm not here to speculate. Heavy Set Tactical actually worked with Guy for a while. And when that fell apart, we started finding out actual facts, not just what people were saying. And it's a shame. It's a shame that people lost money. It's a shame that the guy, for whatever reason, went out. This is a quality knife. Why do I love the knife? And let me just go back to the original reason I love the knife. Before I knew all the bullshit and all the drama, and before I sold out to corporate greed. It's a damn good knife. It fits good in the hand. It fits the hand. It's sharp. It holds an edge. It's easy to sharpen in the field. It's easy to hone up in the field. Everything's even on it, as far as the bevels, all of that. It is a workhorse. It's a good-looking workhorse, and it's just badass. I mean, at the end of the day, all the bullshit aside, it's badass. Now, we'll get the call, it's too big. Oh, you can't do nothing with that but cup. Well, that's you. That ain't me. And if I seem a little pissy, I'm not. This is just me. This is the new normal, which is the old normal. I left everything in the video. Now, I wanted to go back to the point where I was dropping it and throwing it at the stump. I threw it right in a pile of dog shit. The only pile of dog shit in the entire studio. I happened to hit it, but I left everything in. I try more and more, unless it's just something dumbass, I leave the stuff in. That way, when I cut this thing down into shorts, it'll give people who never watch the channel but are experts something to bitch about. So we did a lot of chopping. We did some batoning. This knife, honest to God, is just easy to handle. It has a really nice balance point on it. I'm going to weigh it when I get done with the narration. I'll pin a comment with the actual weight in it and then the weight with the sheath. But the thing is this, Kirk loved it because of the handle. It fits good in the hand. And really, truly, honestly, we say this a lot, and you guys know this. Most of you guys are honest, true knife guys. It don't make shit what the blade's made out of. See, I'm not a blade steel snob. I'm really not. If it'll get sharp, if it'll hold an edge, I'm good. I'm good. I like some of the nuances of some of the quote unquote super steels, but I'm fine with 1095. I'm fine with all the normal stuff if it's done right and heat treated right. These knives are heat treated correctly. And all the knives that I've reviewed, they've been heat treated correctly. They hold up. And really what Kirk and I both try to give you a look at is just honest, actual use. If you are on a camp out or at work or on a hike or doing whatever. We don't do a lot of food prep. That's something that I'm going to try to work in there. But like I said before, man, I got a life. Life dictates a lot what we do. And I'm not complaining about that. But the thing is this. Kirk wanted to chop this because he loves the contour of the handle, and he wanted to get a feel of it. Again, you're looking at a guy there that's in the woods every day of his life, literally, if not the swamps and wetlands, and uses a knife or a machete every day. Being ambidextrous helps. It helps a lot with the shooting too. But you see right here. Now, I do want to point this out. Kirk makes those short burst chops. He's not going super deep. And the reason I mention that is, conversely, when you look at me, I had a lot of problems chopping with this thing, not because it's bad, but it just bit too deep. I should have been doing what Kirk's doing, but of course, y'all know I swing for the downs on every single swing I take because that's, me, and I'm hard-headed. The thing is this knife bites. It just bites in there really, really well. And the other caveat, guys, we're in the South. We're in the South woodlands. We've got oak, might be, and we've got a few hardwoods, but a lot of times you guys are just seeing and we're using what we have available. Always bear that in mind with my videos. I'm not trying to fool you, not trying to sucker you in. Just know and be aware. When you see us, usually we're dealing with some kind of southern wood that's not super hard. Just know that. Get a look at the edge there. Now, one thing I do like to do is let this wood dry out a little bit, and it gets harder. Right here, now see, right there again, one, I'm going a little too deep, and I left all this in. I'm leaving the whole thing in. Hopefully, you can kind of learn from my mistakes, see what I'm doing wrong, see what I'm doing right. And the truth is, guys, honestly, I've just got to a point where I want y'all to see everything. I'm not going to change. I'm going to continue to do what I do. I believe it or not, I don't say that being hard-headed. I'm learning every day, and it's the only way I know to learn, right? I don't learn well by instruction. A lot of times I just have to do it and screw it up. But you see the knife gets phenomenal bites. And you see again where Kirk takes the short chops, removing wood. You see me just going a little deeper there. And again, it bit me a couple times right here. I believe I knocked it out of my hand. Again, leaving everything in. I learned right there from that, just to be careful. And you move forward. A lot of times with these videos, guys, and the reason I say I'm a novice and all this other bullshit, I'm not an expert. I'm not trying to be. I don't need to be. I'm trying to learn, and I also try to leave stuff in for you to go, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? I got zero problems with that. Every video I do comes down to this. Would I carry the knife? Yeah, dude, this knife is phenomenal. I wished I could tell you it sucked. I wished I could tell you it was poorly made. But I can't. Okay, if you can get your hands on a Survive knife at a good price on the secondary, snatch it up. Well, we're at that point in the video where we come to this. There was a time in this country where 22 vets a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Vets, all that means in this world is this. You are loved and you have a place here. You're welcome here. That's it. I back to blue. Take a lot of flack for it. I'm okay with it. I have my reasons. I'm not here to argue with you over it. I'm not doing that. It's just something I believe in. Finally, if you are an addict, and I am, never quit quitting. Well, I'm Scab. You're not. Again, Timbo, dude, thank you so much. This thing's badass. The GSO 10 from Survive Knives. Hope y'all have a great week. I'm gone, son.